Right. Actually, this weekend, this Sunday, and every Sunday, I hope, I'm going to devote all of my Sunday and leave this call open, and we're going to discuss research topics. And each individual can pick a topic or name one of his or her own that she would like to research. And at the end of the day, we'll spend an hour or so and see where we've gotten with that. And examples would be satellite research. Another example would be ground-based radar. Another example would be implants. Another example would be nanotechnology. There are so many, you know. Another would be, we'll say, targets in trouble, uh, people in need across the country that we know of. And they're always showing up. I mean, at any given time, I can get a call from someone who is crying their eyes out in despair because they don't know where to turn. And I do my best to help. And I will spend on the average of 2 hours or so with each person, or as long as it takes. And it works out well. Hey, Angel, what's going on? Hey, Carrie. Yeah, so we spend a lot of time reaching out to others, and that's something you could do, Kevin. Uh, Once you learn a little bit more about it, you could devote some time of your own, possibly handing out flyers or doing something like in your town or in your neighborhood or in your state capital. Where do you live?
New York, Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay, that's right too. I keep forgetting that. You're out somewhat near Mike, and you already spoke with another gentleman. What was his name? David?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. How come you didn't continue speaking with him?
I do continue speaking with him.
You do.
He was
Okay.
on the.
He's on this call, I think. If he's the one I think he is. No,
It
right.
could be another Dave that I've been speaking to.
Yeah, but he's on this call usually on Wednesday nights. If he's the one that I think that you're speaking of. Not on yet. He might be. But I'm searching right now for another time slot, another either a 9 o'clock spot or an after hours spot or an afternoon spot because 3 hours just is not enough. I usually run from 9 in the evening till 2 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, 3 hours you just sort of get going, and 6 o'clock in the evening is a bad time anyway. Out for people out this way, and in California, if you look at it that way, it's 3 o'clock in California in the afternoon. So most people are still at work. Some people are just coming home, preparing dinner out in the East Coast. So you have, people on here that really want to be here. That's one thing I'll say about Friday nights. Then you've got Linda's call after this one, and she is also going to be on Tuesday evenings after Ella's call. So,
Hey, what's up, Frank?
hey, how you doing, Angel?
Is I'm doing good. Is Linda's call on Tuesdays gonna be the same dial-in as Friday?
Uh, I don't know how long she's going to run it. She'll probably run it. Let me see. It would be it would be 9 o'clock actually in uh, California. So
California, right?
yeah, so
So it's like midnight.
yeah,
Okay.
it's like midnight on the East Coast. So it would be
Mm.
Should be running like midnight to 3 Eastern time. So I don't know how many people she'll catch out here. She won't catch
Yeah.
too many people that are working, but I might hang out for an hour or so, see what's going on. I guess they were having some problems with a couple of other moderators, and what they're doing is filling the time slot.
Okay.
Well, we had one, I think, come in this call and said we were all a bunch of intellectual deficient people or something like that. And I think there's a lot of really smart people on this call, and they're just mouthing off. See, if they can't get their call their own way, the way they want it, and nobody attends to it, they just lash out at other people for not going to their call. And they tend to pick on
Yeah,
them.
that doesn't make much sense.
No, because there's plenty of time for everyone to get the message out, to get the message across, and it really doesn't matter unless disinformation is passed out, and that's what we were seeing, a lot of disinformation, which we do not need.
Yeah.
Like this gentleman with the satellites, Mr. Lighthouse, he was very good at explaining the telemetry of the satellites, trajectory, whether they were in synchronous orbit, geosynchronous orbit or not, and how far out they were. But he couldn't give me any information as to what they were actually tracking on people. Whether it was their cell phone, whether it was an implant, whether it was nanotechnology, he would give no information because he didn't have it. So then I asked him for source material, and he says, "Oh, all the source material's on my site." And you remember listening to him, I think.
Yeah, I did.
He was all numbers and star charts, but he wasn't too much TI.
Yeah, no, I read one of his ebooks today. It was really short.
Yeah.
It was like how to track microwave satellites.
Right. And what did he say?
Not much info on there. He kind of gave a similar explanation to what a microwave satellite is than he gave when he spoke at the conference, with the magnets.
Right.
With a bunch of big magnets and stuff.
Right.
And then he said, he gave like an explanation where if you're getting hit with a DEW, get some, what do you say? I forgot the name he used, but it's paint that basically changes color when the temperature changes.
Okay.
And he said, paint a piece of paper, put it on your ceiling, wait there till you get hit and the color changes,
Let me interject something.
Yeah.
If you take a piece of paper and you put it in a microwave, it won't even get warm. Because the microwaves pass right through it. It doesn't have enough mass to really heat up.
If the paint that's on the paper,
yeah,
that'll always heat up because it's paint.
Yeah, see these
to do with paper.
Yeah, millimeter waves are, if they did heat up the paper to a degree, I would start looking for fires all over the city because of this. Because in one particular spot, there would be a focal point and would have fires everywhere. So I couldn't agree 100%. I appreciated his extensive research.
Yeah, because if we're almost 100 degrees, right, our body temperatures, and we heat up.
Right. So,
I agree with you. There would be fires all over the place.
yep.
If yeah, so I mean I hear your explanation. It makes sense to me.
We heat up because of what we're actually burning uh, for fuel. It's actually slow oxidation. Any
Mm,
That's exactly what it is, slow oxidation, and some of the food is decomposing, and we derive a lot of heat from friction, just from moving. That's why you'll see people that are in bed a lot, they'll seem cold or cold all the time, but if they're moving around, uh, they stay warmer. But anyway, yeah, if you figure about 100 degrees, so if we're out in the cold, your face is going to show up immediately.
yeah.
Your your layering, what you wear in extreme cold, is not going to.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't really buy into what he said when I read that. So I mean, that was pretty much the book, the ebook. I mean, and he said, figure out the angle of where it's coming from, and and you can see the satellite that's doing it. Especially if it follows you around, and you can do it in other parts of your home and better figure out the satellite that's doing it. But that's it.
Yeah, you actually
Wasn't much.
need a dish to track a satellite. You need a
Yeah. He did give about 10 different websites that show what satellites are out there. Uh, so
There's another site that you can go to that will actually show you the owners of the satellites, the corporations, the entities that actually own the satellites. So,
uh,
are you leaning towards thinking that you're being tracked by a satellite, or are you leaning towards?
no, I'd say it must be a combination. So it can be a satellite. I'm pretty sure it's more ground based
Yeah,
radar. You
that's
know,
that's what I was
um,
told.
yeah, but I'll tell you, I have to be tracked by a satellite for me to get hit with V2K the way I see it. Um, you know, because, or I don't mean tracked by it, but I mean, yeah, a satellite, it needs to come from somewhere. And I'll tell you, it doesn't come from the ground because it would be heard by everyone in between, you know?
Well, I've got something to
So,
run by you. When you're way out in the middle of nowhere on a camping trip, we'll say 20 miles from anybody, and you have a battery powered FM radio or AM
uh-huh.
radio, you can
Yeah.
still get that. So I guess
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
trying to say is it may be a signal that is far less complicated than we are making it out to be. It could be
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's radio waves everywhere.
exactly.
So, I mean, all you need is the antenna and a station that picks it up and you hear the radio station. So, um, that's how easily it can get projected to us. But I think that anyone, unless it's a frequency that each of us have uniquely and only you pick it up, that's the only way that it would solely come from, a tower, you know, like a cell phone tower or something like that, or one of those antennas. Um, I mean, so that's
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at.
yeah, it's hard to distinguish. This is what we're probably gonna end up doing. We're gonna spend a lot of time tracking what's actually in the room with you all the time. But this is a question I have for you. How do they come up with the medical information that they come up with? Like your heartbeat, your toe just twitched. How do they come up with all that? Unless they
So,
have an advanced medical chip installed.
that can be the case, you know, where before I did say I don't think I'm chipped,
Right.
you know. But I think it's more R&M than a chip, and they actually have either someone interfacing with a computer and connecting with me somewhere else.
I agree. Yep.
It could be 50 miles away, and that person is communicating with whoever talks to me through synthetic telepathy. You know?
Yes.
And because of the speed of thought, it can relate to others, you know? And I don't think I'm chipped. And if I am, it's definitely not by those who, you know, harass me through synthetic telepathy, because, you know, I don't think they have the tech or know how to work it to understand at the speed they understand it at, you know? So there's definitely some computer interface with AI and an actual person, you know?
Excuse me, Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
do you by chance have an Apple phone?
No, I have an Android.
Okay, well, I don't know where it is on Android, but on an Apple phone, if you go into your logs, like in your general settings, and your on my iPad, it's in analytics and data, and on my iPhone, it's an older one. It seems like it's under my general. Anyway, when I go to these logs, there's a log in there that says heartbeats per 2 hours and heartbeats per day, and there's some stuff in there where it says deep breathing, like and some stuff where it looks like my phone has been changed to sync to something when I've got it plugged in charging.
That's for you. That's for the health app. I have.
Yeah, but I don't have a health app.
It's still
And I
there.
have all that stuff turned off.
It's still picking up the information apparently.
My heartbeats and stuff, that's scary.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be, because Apple's probably one of the fussiest people out there. Let me see. It just says health. I think it's got a heart on it. Oh, here it is, health.
I don't even have that on my phone. Mine just says metadata.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's very general data that you can erase. It should be under advanced, and you should be able to erase all of that data. But it says, welcome to health. Small steps become healthy habits when you see how they connect. And it's just a service that Apple provides. They don't gain anything from it.
Right, where are you getting to that from?
It's an app. It's called Health.
But what if I don't have that app?
Okay, it should have been on your phone.
What about some type of fitness app or something like that?
I have nothing like that.
Basically, that's what it is. Okay, you may have deleted it. It may be in a tiny little box along with 4 other apps. There's like a little storage compartment that you can put apps in that you're not using.
Yes, sir.
Yep. But that's a good point, though, because I was just speaking about where do they get the health information. But you see, I've had periods of time where I've left my iPhone behind, or it's been damaged, or something like that, or not working. And I've taken trips, and this is still going on. And across 4 or 5 states, this was seamless. The V2K was seamless anyway, and the attacks were.
Don't you think you're chipped, or do you think you're chipped?
Well, I had an operation in 2007 in March, and it was a sinuplasty, which is a delicate operation close to your brain. So
yes, sir.
That's where they would install a medical chip to monitor you. Now, I don't know whether they turned it off, didn't turn it off, or forgot about it. but they save on insurance because instead of monitoring you in a bed in the hospital using insurance
Okay,
dollars.
so you were told, but you were told you were given a chip, right?
I wasn't told. I saw it right afterwards because
Shouldn't
all of a sudden I had super hearing. I could hear.
shouldn't they have to tell you that?
Well, they should, but they didn't because they figured it was
Hmm.
harmless. They didn't know that it was something that was going to ruin someone's life.
And it
Like,
changed your hearing?
oh yeah, I had super hearing,
Wow.
and now that turned into very loud tinnitus. So the tinnitus is terrible at times, and they blend it very carefully, and they get this grainy tinnitus that really aggravates you sometimes. But as of late, I've been using, like sometimes on a call, like right now, I have Dave Case's CD queued, and I will run that in the background very softly, and they really do not like it, and I recommend it highly.
I just got mine in the mail today. I'm still at work. I haven't gotten to go home and listen to it yet. I'm
Okay,
excited about it though.
go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, as long as Angel is all through. You through, Angel?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I wanted to say was if I am chipped, the only time I could have gotten chipped was when I got my molars taken out because I was asleep.
Okay.
Put me to sleep. Besides that, and that was, back in '04, and I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Unless they find some weird way to do it, I guess, with
Okay.
nanoparticles or something.
Okay, ma'am, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I wanted to respond to the lady asking, aren't they tell you?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thanks.
No. She asked, and putting the chip in you, they're supposed to tell you.
Oh, exactly. Right. They're supposed to.
Well, my response is, why would they tell you in an illegal covert operation?
I think it's something they were doing at the time and didn't realize how serious it was. I did confront the doctor, and without even raising my voice, after I left, he called the police, and I had a notion that he was going to. So I went down to the South Weymouth police station. I walked in the door, and they said, "Are you Frank Allen?" I said, "Yes, I'd like to report." He says, "Oh, he's on the phone. Let's talk about it." And so that doctor is very scared now. So I think he did something at the time that he thought was harmless that is now far from harmless.
That's my question is, why would any doctor think putting a chip in somebody's nose, I think that's where you said it went,
Yeah.
to be harmless? Anybody with any sense would wonder about the seriousness of it.
Well, at that time, they were even on NBC News or Good Morning America. They had a special right around then about chipping people for convenience and location. And as a matter of fact, I can't think of the blonde anchor that did it at the time, but she got chipped right on the air. So it's the type of thing that they were bringing out into mainstream. Then after this started to really come to the surface, they took it right out of mainstream, and you don't hear about it.
So you think at the time he bought the lie that it's harmless, hook, line, and sinker.
Right. He did the operation at South Shore Hospital in South Weymouth, and there were
without your consent. He did
without
that.
my consent. Right.
Yeah.
The operation, obviously, with my consent. Any kind of implant was without my consent. But my point was earlier, the things they can do, plus the things that they can monitor. I mean, if you pass gas, they'll tell you, "Oh, well, you just passed gas." They don't say it quite as nice as that, but they can tell exactly what happens within your body in
Yeah.
terms of whether you're hot. Gee, you're pretty hot, aren't you? And you're just about ready to turn the air conditioner on or something. So yeah, they can dial in right on exactly what's going on with you just about as good as you can.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I knew that part. I just was concerned about the ignorance of the doctor at the time.
Yes. And the only chip that's produced is produced by Cactus Semiconductor. At the time, that was the hottest chip around. It could do anything. And if you look at the size of the latest supercomputer, it will fit on the side of a nickel, or in Lincoln's eye on the penny. So I mean, these computers are small, and you guys were talking about light earlier, or actually Angel was, and this particular chip receives its command line through light. So it's interesting to look at all the different avenues they have to get at you. But this is why my idea seems to work well, and that's to block senses that they use. They use primarily your eyes, and it's been pointed out to me accidentally that they have point vision. In other words, if you are isolating your vision on a given point, that's all they see. So when you zero in on a button on the table, that's what they see. So that explains how they know, they have an idea what you're going to do. Now, or if they see you going for a coffee cup. Now, there's only a couple of different things you're going to do with a coffee cup. Put coffee in it, put it away, or wash it. So that's how they get started recording your information, what you're going to do,
Now,
where you're going to go. Is that
Yeah.
so I understand all of that, Frank, but what happens, like, is it just a parlor trick that they've noticed before, and then they bring it up when you're not looking at it? If you can
Yes.
say, I'm concentrating on, a red cup, and they point out the blue cup that's in my peripheral vision on the other side of the table, as an example. So,
Well,
you know,
they BS you. They BS you every once in a while
oh yeah,
to make you think.
I'm sure it is, Okay. Because they do that to me a lot, and I think it's a combination of stuff. That's why I think it's ground-based radars.
Right. I agree.
These, see anything in between, especially if it's, a magnetic type of radar. It can see through foliage, so it can see through a house, it can see through a building,
Yeah.
So, and it'll pick up any electric frequencies, I guess.
Yes, and if you look at, I'd like to research what it costs to launch a satellite today, what it costs to maintain satellite today. We'll say per month. So the initial launch is probably going to be the most expensive. Maintenance being keeping it in orbit. In the past, some of our astronauts have gotten out of the shuttle and repaired satellites like the Hubble, which is actually a telescope. I can't envision them repairing some of these smaller satellites. They're probably just throwaways. So when they get hit with solar debris, or actually not solar debris, but space debris, it puts them out of commission. But I haven't seen that happen yet in terms of us losing any kind of uh, them losing any kind of targeting ability. So what I would say is it's a lot of money to track one person around. So
Oh
this
yeah.
this satellite would have to be multifaceted to track how many people? Uh, because according to Mr. Lighthouse, they track a small circle that you are inside of. And from that point, they zero in on it. But I asked him, well, what are they tracking? He couldn't answer me. And I said, how are they picking me out in a crowd of 50,000 people? And he couldn't answer me on that end either. So I
You know the pattern I told you about on Wednesday. That's my only explanation.
yeah,
So,
yeah, but I look at FM radio. I look at all the frequencies that were dropped when TV went all digital, and
mhm.
there are hundreds and hundreds of frequencies, and that's why we need one person to research. Go to the FCC. You can actually pull down the documents, and it just came to me. That's where that you can see who owns the satellites. And we need to record this information and keep it in a library of our own, uh, of,
Well,
of our own choosing, and put copies of it here and there so that we can all reference it, like several clouds that are not interlinked, like not the same company. Uh,
what dates do you recommend? You know, pulling that data if they do have historical data.
what
You know,
dates?
like
I would,
yeah, like I mean, say I would go and just pull everything that's a frequency now and who owns it.
yeah,
I mean, I think it's worth at least going back,
yes,
to different dates if they did change owners, but it's the same type of frequency. I mean, it can help us find the trail of what's what. I mean, or dismiss certain frequencies and concentrate on certain ones.
right.
You know,
Yeah, I agree with that. If you've got a company and a satellite that goes back to, we'll say, the year 2000, or a series of satellites with the same company that goes back to 2000, that's something we have to record. Now, we may have people out there already, like Mr. Lighthouse, who can provide us with that much information. And I guess it's lighthouse.com if we want to go there. The FCC, again, has a lot of, they can tell you who owns what frequencies. Like from, we'll say, 1,000 megahertz to 2,000 megahertz is owned by the U.S. Army, we'll say. They can provide us with that information. Who owns what? And that's what we have to do, because all of these satellites have to be registered with the federal government. Uh, and according to Mr. Lighthouse, there are 411 satellites that are active.
but now he describes them as geospatial satellites.
Geospatial.
Yeah, which to me, I think it just means that orbit with the Earth. So there can be other ones out there. I didn't really look it up to see what it is, but you can go ahead. I'm gonna go find the exact term he used.
Okay, geosynchronous would be, I mentioned that to, I think, Barb today or Eleanor White, that geosynchronous was actually a satellite that stayed in one place and traveled at 1,000 miles an hour along with the Earth. That's the speed that the Earth spins at. Of course, naturally, if you go closer to the poles, that is going to be actually faster. and then when you get to the pole itself, it's totally different. That's why they have crazy seasons up there. That's one of the reasons. But anyway, we'll say it spins with the atmosphere at 1,000 miles an hour, and these satellites are all geosynchronous, which means they stay in one spot. So if you are in, say you're on the South Shore, there's one satellite that is going to be right above you if this particular company has a string around the Earth. And they have to do that because of line of sight. You cannot put a satellite up that's going to cover, obviously, the whole Earth. There has to be a string of satellites that are linked together in order to be able to pass information around the globe or to pick up information from the other side.
Weather satellites,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
have like, you know, anywhere in the middle of the ocean, you know, and I call them satellites. They might not be, you know, in the air, but they're just radars. And they can track wind speeds and send it to a certain place. And if you know, things like that. And that's all wireless stuff. And it's been around since the 70s, you know.
Yeah. Someone just came up with, Barb did, drones can do that. Well, do you know how much money it takes to keep a drone in the air? You're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to keep one drone in the air, and because they have to refuel it. I haven't heard of an electric drone that big yet. The drones that supposedly do chemtrails and track people are large drones. They're not the police model that's designed for like 6 hours in flight. They're up there to stay, we'll say, and they have to be maintained. They have to be refueled. It doesn't make, for a drone to stay in one spot, they can't. They have to maneuver, and the only way they could almost stay in one spot is to almost hit a stall speed, and they can't go that slow. To maintain lift, they have to stay at a certain speed. If they go below their lift speed, they start to drop. So in order to stay in one place, a drone's going to be a 4-bladed hovercraft, like the police have. And I have not seen one any bigger than that. So those will stay in flight. They're too small. They won't reflect light like the stars. Like some people say, okay, that's not a star, that's a drone. Well, if it's staying in one spot, how is it doing it? Unless it's a hover drone, because these drones must maintain forward speed in order to remain aloft. They run out of gas, we'll say, they fall out of the sky because they don't have any forward lift, and they have to have.
No. I saw a drone way up. I mean, but it was between me and the moon and the earth. So it wasn't a star. Bright light, much brighter than anything else in the sky. It was way up. I saw this, whatever it was, satellite drone. Someone said that they now have satellite drones in the same device. They've married the two. I don't know. I've never seen it. But I know that this drone, I'll call it a drone, came down very close to where I was, to the point where it looked like in the plane pathway. And I live in a landing zone.
Okay.
So it was not high up at all. I mean, I was astounded at what I saw.
Okay, so
And one other thing is that I think that when they put things up like that they want them to stay up like that. They run off solar.
okay,
That's how they.
that's a lot of juice, and they have to stay in one place. So they're going to have to be four-bladed hover in order to stay in one place. They can't be the typical government drone that you see. And plus, the thinner the air, the less applicable propellers are. You cannot
Right.
take a drone and get it into space with propellers because the air gets too thin. There's nothing for them
I
to
don't
propel.
I don't know how they dropped it down. I really don't. I didn't hear any noise. I didn't hear any propeller. I didn't hear anything, but I know that drone went from way up to very close to where I was, and I was astounded because I didn't really know what it was, but they let me know what they were.
Okay,
I mean,
it looks bright like a star though.
totally, it's much brighter than a star, much brighter. And like I said, it's between me and the moon. All stars are beyond the moon, and this was between the moon and the earth. So you knew it wasn't a star.
Okay, if you
You knew
take
it wasn't a plane. Stayed in one place. It just
if you
stayed right in that one place all night.
if you take a brand new aircraft, we'll say like we'll go back in time, like an old Boeing 707 or something like that, all aluminum, shiny, 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 shiniest aluminum you can get, and it's clear coated, along with a few other things to help it survive the weather. And you go up to 30,000 feet with it, it doesn't shine like a star. 30,000 feet that's cruising height for most commercial aircraft. So what you have to figure out is what is going to shine that bright. If it's got lights, it's going to burn them out. If it's battery powered, solar is very great, but solar charges at a very slow rate as well. So
Well,
it might
you
be
know,
something
they've
we don't
improved the
know.
batteries tremendously.
Yeah.
I I think that they use solar a lot on satellites too.
They've been using solar on satellites since the first one went up,
Right.
Telstar.
So I'm sure it's totally improved since then, but it, I don't know if it was why it was so bright. It
That's what we
seemed
have to
to
figure out.
it seemed to have the
What if
brightness.
what if it was some type of hybrid engine with electric and gas?
Okay, the only engine in the jet class that will propel something to the point where it's almost out of the atmosphere is a pulse engine. That engine was used on the SR-71 Blackbird. That's one of the few places that I've seen it used. There's a lot of new stuff that is under wraps that we can't see. So it's quite possible that what they're using is something that is not publicized, probably slid out of Area 51, but it's man-made, and we have to be able to get a picture of it, and we have to be able to track it. Now, what I've
I got a
suggested,
picture of it. I got
okay,
a picture of it,
send it to me.
but it's just this bright light
Well, great.
over a fence post. I mean, I think it's something new.
Okay,
I
well, what
really
I'll do
do.
is get rid of the light and see what it is. To get rid of,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, you've seen a lot of sun shots where they actually get rid of the light to see what the sun is actually doing. And but what I've suggested to a lot of people, and I don't know who's done it, but you can get a star chart and put it up against the stars in your area, and you can get it to line up.
No, not a star. This is not a star.
I'm not disputing that, Barb.
Oh, okay.
I've
Okay.
told a lot of people to do this. If
All
this
right.
particular item is in the same spot every night and the star chart shows it up, well, you're going to have a star. And if you cannot find one, you can go to the library, open up an atlas or anything like that, and you will see a map of the sky. And you can flip through the pages or go online and find one in your area. Probably online is the best place. And download it, print it out, and just take some clear mylar from a report cover, put it over it, and trace out the stars that you can.
Well,
And
the funny thing about this is that the moon always rises in that area. It rises over the planes landing, where they come in to land.
right, the glide
And
path.
right, glide path. And this, whatever it was always in the same spot. And the moon was maybe a foot away from it. So you could judge if it was beyond the moon or not. That's why I'm saying I'm absolutely sure it wasn't a star, because the moon was behind it and up higher.
Okay,
And that was very easy to judge.
okay. And how many miles away do you think that was?
What, the moon or
No, your drone.
the device?
Yeah.
I well, when it was close, I mean, I would say it was a little bit higher than the glide path for the airport. It wasn't much higher than that. I don't think it was in it. I don't think it came down into the glide path, because I've been watching these planes land and take off for years. So
Yeah.
I have a good idea of where they're coming in, when the wind changes and how they land and all that stuff. I'm very conscious of it. And this came down, but it didn't come into the glide path, so it wasn't as low as the planes. But it was pretty low. It was really surprisingly low.
Yeah, you're going to take a meter and go to that side of the house, and you're going to go up in the attic on that side. And you're going to pick this up on that particular side of the house. But that doesn't make any sense, because if it's shooting right at you, it's going to be behind you. It's going to be on all sides of the house. So that's not going to do it.
No, it was in one spot every night, and it was right. The reason I know that I paid attention to this is because I had a back door, right? It was the only way I could go out the window, which was my emergency exit. But I had one door, and I always went out that door. When I went out that door at night, it was sitting right there.
Okay, yeah.
Every night, all night. Anytime I went out, it was there.
But I'm getting back to Mr. Lighthouse again, and he says that you can track this drone, where it's coming from. Okay, how? The signal's going to be everywhere. A general direction, maybe. An exact direction, you're going to need a dish to actually zero in on it. Now, there's a lot of old dishes available back when satellite TV took a giant dish. Maybe it's about time that we grab one of those old dishes, because you can actually dial in right on an object if you choose to. So you'd have to get the
What
proper.
would you hook it up to?
What would you hook it up to?
Yeah,
Good
kind of
question.
medium.
It's a unit that has a map on it, and it's made to actually go with a radio telescope,
Okay.
because it's actually going to bounce a beam off of it. All right, have to excuse me for 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Now where'd he go?
He probably went for coffee.
Yeah. Who's this?
This is Angel. How are you, Barb?
Who is it?
Angel?
Angel. Well, that's kind of a different name. Why do you
Yeah.
call yourself Angel?
What was that?
Why do you call yourself Angel?
That's my name.
Oh,
My
it's-
real name.
Hi, Angel. It's Ann from the conference. How are you?
Good. How are you, Ann?
Good. Hi,
your
Nicole.
mother named you Angel?
Yeah, it's a common name in Latino culture.
Is it your last name?
No, it's my first name.
Your first name is Angel. Oh my goodness, I get a kick out of that. That's funny.
Well, I guess if you compare it to, you can say maybe Italians being named Angelo.
Oh,
Right.
Angelo.
Yeah, so in Spanish, it's just Angel.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's funny. I knew several Angelos. And their names were Angel. How funny is that?
hmm
What does Gino mean?
I have no clue.
What? No clue.
No clue now.
So you and Frank are talking about satellite and what's his name? Lighthouse?
Yeah, he spoke at the conference. Were you at the conference?
Yeah, but I didn't get to hear him. I heard Frank has a disagreement with him, and he felt
It's
that
just little things. So
right. What did you think of the incident with Brian? Did you know about that?
Yeah, I was going to play the tape this evening. I'm still debating whether
But Brian's tape or Lighthouse's tape?
Lighthouses. Brian's actually. He
Oh, I
has.
don't want
Oh, no.
to.
Wait, you you haven't listened to it. It's Brian interviewing Brian. He.
Yeah, play it.
If I can cue it, I'll play it here in a little bit. But it's Brian
I
interviewing.
haven't heard that.
Excuse me.
I don't know.
I haven't heard that one yet. That'd be nice.
It's brand new. It's Brian interviewing somebody from Boston, and he has a New York accent. And at the end of the video, he's in New York, and he's actually interviewed somebody that's supposed to be another person coming forward like himself. But if I did a voice print on, it's so blatant, it's ridiculous. He's asking and answering the questions in this video.
So he's trying to fake an interview?
He's interviewing himself. I posted it on Targeted Massachusetts. Anybody who has Facebook that wants to see it.
Was he doing this on purpose, or was he trying to
Oh no,
say
he was
make
trying.
it like he's interviewing somebody else from Boston?
He was interviewing somebody else from Boston, and it wasn't fake. He didn't say, "Oh, this is a joke" or anything like that. He actually, I just heard it. I heard it last night. I almost died laughing. It's so blatant. It's his own voice. I mean, I don't have to even print it, voice print it. I know it's his.
Well, it sounds like the people he was doing it for, he had a lack of respect for their intelligence. That's what I get from it.
Well, he's
How
doing
much
it.
money did he walk away with, by the way? Does anybody know?
I don't know, but he's got one hell of a website. It's not cheap.
I heard last
already
night it
got-
was a lot of money.
Thousands.
Yeah, I heard, yeah.
Yeah, thousands. So I don't know. I'm not going to say the exact circumstances because I don't know them. But what I
And then
do
he lived
know
with Yaya
is,
for free.
but what I do know is that this tape, okay, his last tape there is bogus. Okay, I posted it and I couldn't believe it. I'm going to try and cue it. You guys talk amongst yourself, okay?
Frank, I knew he was bogus to begin with. I warned people
I
to
know.
stay away from him.
I just talked about that Wednesday. So, that makes two of us.
I mean, Yaya invited him into her home. I freaked out last night when she said this on Ella's call. Why would anybody in their right mind do that?
Yeah, I know. Okay, I'm going to be busy here for a minute. I'm going to try and cue this and share my screen.
I would never invite anybody into my home that I wasn't absolutely sure about, It
Yeah.
terrifies me to think what she put herself in, in the pathway of.
Yep.
She said that she got targeted by him, and you bet your boots she did.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Are you
think
talking
it's
about Yaya or Desiree?
What?
Were you talking about Yaya, Midge, or Desiree?
We're going to
I
keep
thought
the name.
Yaya was the one who
We're,
invited him
we're
into
going to
her
keep
home.
we're going to keep names out of this. Even
Okay, well, she was interviewed
Was she
last
got
night
on
on
to
Ella's
Ella's
call.
call?
okay. All
Yeah.
right.
She did.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So other people are, there are people that are listening to these calls we know that shouldn't be. And
That's why I don't like to give
all-
last names,
It was. I'm not giving any last names. I'm giving first names, and she was
Oh,
interviewed last
right.
night on Ella's call.
Right. I had a TI call me up. We were in a discussion, three of us women, and she asked me
Can
if
you
she
hear
could
that?
come to my apartment, and I told her
Can you
sure.
hear that?
And
yeah.
no, sort of, real slight.
It's low.
And then I thought about it for several hours, and I called her back, and I said, I can't have you come to my apartment. I said, I'm freaking out over this. And she accepted it with poor grace, but she did accept it. I mean, it was my apartment. And I did. I thought about that. And I said, you're an
Barb,
idiot. You don't know
hold on
this
for a second, okay?
Yeah, well, I kept telling TIs, put it in your pocket. Don't give nobody nothing.
Can anybody with a computer hear that?
Barely.
We are joined now by one of those sources, Matthew Benjamin.
Turn it up more.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, hello, it's good.
It's the same guy. Can you hear that?
Talk to you, Brian.
No.
And I want to say thank you to you for what you did with bringing attention to violence in Washington. I was shocked to learn about it was there, and I'm sorry to say that in Boston it's not much better.
It's like whispering.
Thank you for your kind words.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not very loud, right?
It's like a whisper.
All right, you guys.
Of the knowledge that you've accumulated over the last.
All right, you guys go ahead, and I'll figure out how to do this.
Well, I'll say one more thing and then I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
That this man put this tape together. It showed he had a lot of disrespect for this community, and he was a con man.
Yeah, I agree.
Was it what?
He was a con man.
Oh my God. Well, there's sure a lot around.
Memoir, did you hear on the interview last night that basically they all agreed that he is a target? They just don't know why this happened.
I don't
But
believe he
they all-
was a target. I think
I
he
know.
got all his information off the internet and threw it back at us. Because when I listened to him the first time, I said he didn't tell me one thing I didn't know. Not one thing. And
I
at
think
that
they know more
point,
than we do.
no, he didn't. And I realized
No,
at
no,
that
no, they
moment
do.
he was a con man.
Yeah.
And I
Okay,
walked away from it. I told other people that too.
this might
Do you think
work.
he's still? Do
This
you think
might.
he's still working for the same company, or you know?
I don't even think he worked for a security company. I think he made it all up. I think he made everything up. He just did his homework on the internet, read everything, and then threw it back at us. The only thing that he said was that they were reading homeless people's DNA, and I thought about that, and I did
Try
a
this.
little
Can you
reading
hear it?
on that, and it was bullshit.
Can you hear it?
No.
Sure. As I mentioned to you when we spoke yesterday,
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Bailey.
Many people are concerned with what's going on, not only within Boston, but New York.
I'll just leave it on a few minutes.
And indeed the United States of America as a whole.
Okay.
That is Matthew Benjamin.
Enforcement agencies, military intelligence, local and state law enforcement. It is in these relationships that programs like the Targeted Individual Program have been brought to bear against the American people in an unconstitutional surveillance state that is now operational and gone live against political dissidents within the United States of America. Okay, everybody, this is Brian Cochran, GangstalkerWars.com, and we are going to skip forward in our interview with Matthew Benjamin. It was a several-hour interview, and we are just releasing right now some highlights and clips from that. So we're skipping forward a bit into the interview. Here it is. Well, thank you, Matthew, for those kind words, and thank you for having the courage to come forward and share them with us. We are all truly grateful for your courage and the strength in the face of terrible opposition and threats against you and your family. As I understand it, you've been through quite a lot personally since you decided to speak out about these issues and make the whistle in your own way against, as you mentioned, not only the federal government and the Pentagon, but the organized crime elements. Is that an accurate way to characterize that? Yes, yeah, that would be accurate. In the 20 years that I was working, I was protected by the people I worked for. I then saw what the people I was working for were doing to innocent American citizens, whose families were being.
Now, does that sound like the same guy?
And unbeknownst to me,
Yes.
I can't tell.
You could easily. You hear these like clips. It's like it's being cut or something, or you know the tape is being, clipped or something.
Corporations that are beginning given a sweetheart deal to open up shops, for example, Walmart, Bank of America.
Is that enough, folks?
Sorts of companies.
Yes.
See opening up shop.
Hank,
Yep.
do you have Mrs. email?
What?
Go ahead.
Do you have Mrs. email?
I'm sorry. I must have got my ears blown out.
No, it's the signal's bad and it's muffled in here.
Okay.
Do you have Yaya or Midge's email?
No, I really don't.
Okay. Just checking.
Getting
I
phone.
used to have it. I don't know what happened to it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so what happened there was we got one person covering his own voice, claiming to be somebody else. So I couldn't believe it. So unreal. Any comments on that for those of you who did hear it? I think probably 4, 5, 6 of you heard it. 7 of you.
Yeah, what do you think his objectives are or were? I mean, what's he trying to do?
I have no idea. I think he ran out of things to do to get to his goal, whatever that is, and he tried something stupid. And he faked a New York or a Boston accent, and he just blew it. I mean,
Yeah, he opened himself up to. Well, that's good that he did, I guess.
yeah, it is. It's too bad because a lot of people were looking to him. Now, I spent a lot of hours of research based on what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek came on our call. I don't know if you were on our call that night. And Derek come in and gave us a lot more information. I still haven't heard anything that I haven't heard or felt from my own two perps. So it gets to be a sticky area. So this is all going to take time to come out, but I'm just showing you what I found. I didn't get a chance to listen to Ella's call, so maybe you guys can fill me in.
Didn't Derek back him?
Yes.
He did. Yeah, he trusted him.
That's like he backed Greg Gamache too. He got really mad at a lot. There were 3 of us women who were saying that Greg Gamache was a fake.
Yeah.
Derek got on there and started screaming and yelling at us. Joe Dixon too was backing him, and they were really after us. He was a fake. He was a con man too.
Yeah.
If not, this guy here might be Greg Gamache. How do we know?
Yeah, and unless you're really professional at it, you can lose your accent. Now, towards the end of that tape, he lost the accent altogether and said thank you or something, and then he said you're welcome, and it was the exact same voice. I just, I really laughed and at the stupidity, but I felt bad for all the money donated.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And to think he would take that and then that he. Oh yeah. Do you think anyone's going to confront him about it? And how?
Excuse me? Oh, I'm
Do you
sure.
think Oh yeah.
He'll be confronted because he's taken dwelling, he's taken money, he's taken, and he still has his that site's worth $1. I'll tell you. I looked at the site. It's not an easy, quick, simple layup site. It's just, it looks like it could be a very expensive site, but I haven't looked it up. I'll tell you exactly who put the site up here by email or text. I'll find out exactly who did it.
Okay. Is there anyone on here who thinks it's better not to have a cell phone that's smart? I know.
I do, but I don't have any choice. If I were you, I would all try and come up with a computer and use it and not use the smartphone. Now, I will not use the smartphone to my ear, but I do take it with me wherever I go. So that is like another tracking device. If you do take your smartphone with you, turn any kind of tracking information right off.
Yeah.
I can tell you what it is on the iPhone right now. It's very easy.
Was anybody here at the conference Sunday?
Yes, I was.
Did you get Audio Spotlight working?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, Allison and the people from Live went out in the backyard. I'll just say backyard, out the back door, and I hit them both with a beam at like 75 yards, and they kept giving me thumbs up. They wouldn't say anything, but if they heard it, they were supposed to give a thumbs up. Now, at like 75 yards, I still had one guy on the other side of a tree giving me a thumbs up. So yes, it's very successful, but not to be used indoors in a small conference room. It will not work.
So Frank, does it? So you say something or make is it something where your voice or sounds transmit into it?
Yes.
And then the person hears.
Yeah, we didn't get the right type of microphone, and it wasn't available. So what I did is I played the factory installed tape that's on there from AS, and we used that. And so it was actually more convenient because it was an ongoing sound that didn't stop. There were no gaps, so I could actually, they could actually hear it more easily as I moved it around. And another thing to be pointed out, that particular unit is supposed to be mounted. It is not in any way supposed to be used the way we're using it because it's very powerful. So I see there's two brass sunk in threaded brass holes there, and I'm going to put two handles on it so that it can be held properly. That way there we can use it.
Yeah, Mike said it's supposed to be used in a ceiling.
Yeah, it's very fragile. It's very fragile. You drop it, you're all done. It's got to be taken care of very carefully.
So you got to insure it.
Oh, yeah. It's under my house policy now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And
hey, Frank, I got a question about that.
Yeah.
Is the technology, is the sound beam sort of formed by sort of, some type of encapsulation?
Heterodyning.
Heterodyning, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so heterodyning is actually one of the things that the perps use. I think those two beams hit us, and actually, with the two beams come together, that's where the V2K is emitted. So what I would say is, Dr. Pompey will say is the inventor of Audio Spotlight, and he worked for Bose Sound Systems, and he created this in a summer, I guess, working with Bose. And somehow he slipped out of Bose with the patent to it, and it was his invention. So maybe that's the way he went in there. But there is a government side of Audio Spotlight that is not mentioned. And if you look it up, you'll see it. So I think this is possibly one of the devices. And this was originated for use by the Air Force for their pilots. That's the original use of it. And that goes back a long way because they wanted to be able to talk to their pilots if they did lose radio contact. And it's also coming in handy with the F-35, this new technology. Because in the F-35, you sit in the seat, you look at an aircraft and say, take that aircraft down. And the F-35 performs that operation using what armament it sees fit, given the distance and speed of the object. So this is taken root in many different areas. And unfortunately, it's gotten to the perps, and that's something that we're taking care of.
Is there any way we can get off of the radar? I mean,
I think ground-based radar, I think, is what's transporting it. What I was trying to explain was it's like FM radio. You can go out in the woods 20 miles and still get FM radio.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people say, oh, well, you're away from your house, you're away from everybody, you can't get it. Guess what? You can. Hello?
From what I understand, the military aspect of this device goes through walls, and that's what we're subjected to.
Hold on, I got somebody at the door. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that is beyond acceptance. And I know I made the mistake, I think, of giving one of my private numbers to someone, who was affected, and now my entire place, I can't look anywhere without having my eyes just hurt terribly.
Someone was telling me that there was a couple of TIs that were on a call a little while ago, and they were saying they were having trouble with their eyes also. And they said what you have to do is you have to stay hydrated, extremely hydrated, because I guess it's drying out your eyeballs, behind your eyeballs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they sting, and when I go to read, I can only get so far, and I can't go any further. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. I just had to see who was at the door. No problem.
I remember Frank was talking about brazing glasses. I don't know if that would be of help.
I found a better pair. I found them actually on Google's site, and they're not number 8, they're number 14. And they're actually capable of looking at an eclipse, a solar eclipse.
Wow.
So they're number 14. So I posted them. I'm going to have to get a link to that and post it on here.
How much do they run?
I think they're like 40 or 50 bucks, something like that.
Not too bad, but unless I can read well, I can't go back to work because, that's my work. That's what I do better than mechanical work,
Yeah. These glasses are designed to block out every form of light, we'll say. If you're in a dark room, then you're going to be really in the dark. But the idea is you block off senses. They use your ears, fill that with noise, and put glasses on. They have nothing to talk about. They'll have to start digging.
Yeah. What site was that again?
It was on Google. And just, I'll make it available to you if you like. But it's a site that is, the glasses aren't individual lenses. They're one lens. They look more like a diver's goggle. But not the big one, the narrow one. It doesn't encompass the nose or anything like that. Okay, I'm not able to catch up to the chat room because it's gone pretty fast, I guess. Slowed down to a crawl now, though. I'll have to get in there and take a look. But does anybody have any questions they want to comment on any of this?
Did anybody talk to or get notifications from Catherine Horton about Melanie's baby? Did she get her baby back yet?
I am not sure. I posted on that too. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I was just looking at my email, and the petition I signed, Stop Covert Torture. Now I can't find. It didn't have an update, so I don't know what the update is, but I'm curious as well.
What does it take to get on her mailing list?
Just sign the petition and say you want to follow, any new news. That's how I found out about
Okay.
it. Because it's Millicent's petition, and she'll update on any news that happens, in regards to that. So
That's right, Angel. I found it. It's MillicentChange.org petition says, stop false diagnosis leading to forced psychiatric detainment to cover illegal human experimentation and military training resulting in torture. And so she's, that's just what happened to that woman, right?
Oh, you
well,
betcha.
I guess, yeah, they said they put her at psychiatric detainment, did they?
Yeah, but I mean, they put her in a room that's locked up with without a toilet, and then with a toilet and a mattress on the floor, and that was it. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. And I cannot imagine what they're doing to that baby. The other thing I was concerned about is that they got rid of Catherine. They sent her out as a witness. And Melanie was there by herself. Now, I don't know if Catherine took her laptop with her because that had all her evidence in it. And when she came back, she said that all Melanie's stuff was packed away. So they didn't expect her to come back from the psychiatric ward. And
Now,
I was wondering if her evidence was confiscated.
why was Catherine Horton asked to leave?
Because they said she couldn't stay in the room because the baby wasn't there. And then Catherine said, well, if the baby is in intensive care, that means that the father can't visit as a question. And they said that she had to leave, and if she didn't leave, they were going to call the police.
Frank?
Yes.
So they did call the police an hour later.
They didn't need an official reason because they didn't have one.
Right.
They didn't meet officially?
They didn't need an official reason to get rid of her. They didn't like her there, and they were.
Right, but they gave her that reason.
Okay,
That was a poor reason.
Yeah, Catherine Horton should have been allowed to stay. Number one, Melanie had that right, and it should have been made clear that Catherine Horton was going to stay. That's really sad.
Not according to them. I mean, they had all the power. I mean, Melanie was not just recovering from a cesarean.
Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't capable of leaving.
Right.
And they wanted Catherine out of there as witness, so they made her leave. I can't believe what people did to that woman. I cannot believe it. I'm so furious over this. It isn't funny. And I sent this to the American Psychiatric Association.
Good idea. I sent it to Breitbart, Daily News, Gateway Pundit, Russia Today, and maybe one other. And no one reported on it in Drudge. I sent it to Drudge and Alex Jones. And people should, women's organizations should be outraged, don't you think? And shouldn't,
yes.
And human rights activists should be outraged because she's one of them. Where are these voices? Why is
yeah, but
so quiet?
You don't even know if your emails got out.
Right. Well, I suppose I do see myself, but you know how everything. We can't. It's insane when they turn this stuff on you. You don't even have a choice. You just don't. It's just insane to live like this.
But a lot of people, you have to realize what they did to this woman and her baby. This shows just how far they will go to do what they wanted. So
Yep.
you have to look at that episode in this context, because if you don't, if you just blow it off as, well, they were just bad people. This wasn't just bad people. This was, I believe it was a setup. I believe it was a total setup, because
Absolutely.
they
Absolutely.
wanted to find out what evidence that Melanie and Catherine had, which they had access to her computer. They wanted to punish them, and they wanted to make sure that they understood that they were totally controlled, and they were.
But I mean, they didn't even let the grandfather of the child see the baby.
Right.
This is really sad. This is unbelievable. I
It's
mean,
worse than sad. Sad is not adequate enough.
yeah, I agree. It's horrific. I agree. You're right. I stand corrected. It's horrific. It's a human's rights abuse of I would almost say unprecedented horror. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's got to be more press over this. There's no press. It's crazy.
Nothing.
It's despicable. The baby's in trauma. The baby even went quiet. It makes you. I can't. It's horrific. We all know what torture is, and we know what they went. We don't know, but it's terrible. Terrible. Oh my God.
I can't get to Boston, but somebody should. I can probably call WCVB in Boston, Channel 5, and just alert them of what's going on if it hasn't been done already. But
That's a good idea, Frank. By the way, everybody, this is Berg Topaz. Hi to everybody. Yeah, that's hi. I can't be on the call. I can't be on the call long because I'm visiting a friend of mine. But I wanted to poke my nose up and say hi, and my prayers are with you all. And what is the name of this person so I can pray for her? Because I want to just say I really totally agree with you guys that this is really horrific. And I think also to a certain degree, though, these guys are getting desperate because the fact that they are willing to do this to Catherine Horton, she's probably become the world's most famous TI. She certainly is one of the best documenters. And the fact that they brazenly, essentially this is kidnapping, holding somebody against their will. And from the sounds of it, they took the baby away from her. This is kidnapping. Am I correct that they took the baby away from her?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that's kidnapping.
Right after a C-section. Right after a C-section. They gave her no drugs. They put her on a mattress on a concrete floor, right, Memoir?
Well, they drugged her. They at one point had drugged her.
now, who were the authority figures that did this? Were they social services or branch of social services? Or
Well, they're the ones who they said that they're going to give the baby to. The baby was in the hospital, but they took her out of this maternity hospital and brought her to a psychiatric hospital, and that's where they locked her up, where they drugged her.
okay, that's to get the baby away so they could walk away with the baby. Did Melanie sign anything?
No.
Okay, well they're in trouble then. They're not legal parents of anybody. No, if she didn't sign anything, she has the ball.
That's right. But I would like to point something out. There could also be human trafficking involved.
Yes.
It sounds to me that not only is Melanie a gang stalking victim, it also dawns on me that there's human trafficking involved. That sounds like a stunt that they would pull.
Yeah, there's that potential, and if someone could just find out where the baby is right now and whose hands.
Yeah, nobody knows where the baby is.
We need to have a copy of the birth certificate with the footprint if they do it over there. I think they do.
She couldn't get any of her medical records.
No.
Couldn't give any of them.
if she was released to go and they didn't hold her for any psychiatric
Well,
thing.
she's, I don't know if she's still in hospital or not. I really don't know. That's why I was asking for an update. Last I heard, she was back at the maternity hospital. The baby was, she was not given access to the baby. And I don't even know if Catherine was there or not. Oh.
What's Melanie's last name, if I may ask?
Very,
Begins with V, right?
yeah, it's a European name.
It's
very,
Vrichan.
spell it.
Vritschan.
Burchin. Okay. I will be lifting prayers up for her tonight. I just wanted to stop in and call, poke my nose up and say I haven't forgotten about you guys. Sorry, I've been very quiet. Frank, I'm going to try to email or text you tonight. I'm still interested in those plans that you and I had talked about.
Yes.
I just wanted to give my blessing to everyone tonight, and I love you guys, you know, even if I have sometimes butted heads with you. But my prayers will be with Melanie tonight, and I care about you guys.
Oh,
gotta go.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday, we are having a research day. This call will be open all day long from like 10 Eastern until whenever. And we're just going to share information, research. Nobody has to say anything. I mean, you can be on your computer doing something and then just pop in and I'm just going to put it on speaker. I'm not even going to put headphones on. I'm just going to have the headphones handy so I can answer a question or get some information. And everybody can pick a topic. Calls in.
Wonderful.
That's great. Yeah.
That's Sunday, and that's 10 a.m. Eastern. That's wonderful.
Yep.
That's wonderful.
And we'll be running into the afternoon and probably into the evening. And we'll get something accomplished.
Outstanding.
So
I'll be there.
Okay. Thank you, Bird. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, and thanks for being patient with these calls and runs. I've been doing a lot of them lately, but that's because I've been too busy. All right, well, blessings to you all, and I'll keep Melanie in my prayer.
Okay.
Bye-bye, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
God bless.
Bye now.
Yeah. Bless.
Mm-hmm.
I think I am going to call Channel 5 due to the absurdity of this act. And I thought it was authority figures that did this. It was just the people that were intending on being parents that did this.
What?
So
What?
there weren't any authority figures there.
Well, the nurses, doctors, and the psychiatrists were there.
Before that, though, prior to that, there weren't, right?
Well, they just had the midwife. The midwife is the one who started it all. She had got in, she was talking to Catherine. I don't know what they were doing, but the midwife was talking to Catherine, and she was asking her all kinds of questions. And the midwife was very friendly to Catherine, and Catherine opened up to her and told her that she didn't have a dad. She had artificial insemination.
Oh, I see.
And I guess they were curious as to what Catherine was doing there as her significant other, I guess you could say. So Catherine said, well, we were colleagues. And then from there, she went on to explain about the work that they were doing. For instance, Catherine was involved with the implant that Melanie had in her throat. And what they used to do is they would use a radio frequency on this implant she had in her throat, and it would swell up, and it was cutting off her breath. And she was having a hard time breathing. And as time went on, this was getting worse and worse and worse, so that she at times she had a very difficult time breathing. So they went to a doctor and had it removed. most of it removed. Some of it is still available. And Catherine took it to a lab and they examined it and found out that it was made out of titanium threads
Okay.
and it was reacting to the radio frequencies. And so this is what she was telling the nurse. What happened was that this was a setup. They were fishing Catherine. That's all they needed were a few keywords to be able to justify Melanie's insanity. Right.
Yeah, I think Catherine said too
Because
much.
she's right, exactly. She was not warned about what to do when she confronted medical people. And one of the things that let's see, they wanted to shut Melanie up. Melanie is a very famous activist in that area of the world. She's very well known.
From Australia?
No,
No.
Belgium. She was in a Belgium hospital. I don't know if she's from Belgium. I know that they speak French there, and I think that's her language of choice. But she's
I'm on
very,
her
very
website.
well known. Huh? Well, good.
I'm on her website. Frank, do you have access to the web?
Yes, I do.
I'm looking at ICAACT.org.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Right.
And it's so impressive. Like, no wonder they wanted this woman. Like,
They
she's one of us
wanted
guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She is
Oh,
like
she
right
definitely
out there.
She
That's
is.
the International Center Against Abuse of Covert Technologies.
Right.
I mean, they do not want any of this stuff out there. And they're
Right.
going to, like, put their thumb down, like Vemar was saying. But that's what they want, you know. I mean, that's why it's just, when will it
Why they
stop?
went after her so hard.
Oh, yeah. They
And
won't
I'll
even
tell-
let the woman have a baby. This is so sick. And the two of them together are a powerhouse. That's what the problem was. They want them, you know. And, you know,
I'm
they
surprised
probably
they
vetted
put
that Catherine
Catherine
would
in jail.
screw up and open her mouth.
Yeah.
No offense. I'm sorry, Catherine. I know you've done a lot for us, but I know. The guilt she must feel if she could only have not, you know. But like you said, they could have planned it out a little better.
Midwives usually don't have too much clout, and they usually leave right after the baby is born. So that's probably the way Catherine figured it would go. She didn't realize the midwife was so much a part of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, it was a C-section, too.
Yeah.
So usually you stay in the hospital at least one day, I hope.
Yeah, 3
I was in-
is a good day, is actually ideal.
I was in 4 days. I had cesarean. But that was long ago, you know.
Yeah. My mom was in 6 days.
Yeah. They kept women in the hospital that long.
Angel? Yep. Angel, I see you trying to get through.
Yeah, at some point this year, I was researching about Pedagate, you know, and they did identify Belgium as being one of the hubs for child trafficking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You
those
know, so
sick EU leaders. They're sickos.
It was also said that they're a big area for satanic ritual stuff.
Yep.
That's terrifying.
You know, that's why they enjoy torturing us. These people are sick. That
How
is
do-
their lives.
Yeah, how do you protect your head ear area so that you don't get the various things they do around, not just what you might hear, like it's like a knocking or you know, all sorts of things.
Dave
tried to
Casey,
keep it-
CD.
Yeah, but I can't carry it around with me.
Yes,
very
you can.
easily.
If you do, you'll
I have
drive them
3
up.
CD players. And believe it or not, well, we've had a sick animal, and you know, we have veterinarian bills, and I can't work unless I can read without my eyes hurting. And
Do you have a smartphone or an MP3 player?
I have a smartphone, yeah.
You're all set.
You can upload the CD, rip it into your computer, and transfer it right into your iPhone and listen to it with headphones.
Well, my computer is down now. It crashed.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I have it in an audio file. I did this. I transferred it to my cell phone. You know, I wouldn't mind sending it to you. You know, if I can fit in an email, or I can try to upload it. You know, and send you a link.
Oh,
Then you'll
my,
have it in an electronic copy.
that might be helpful, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you the email over the phone. I may as well.
Angel, can you split up one track at a time?
Oh yeah, I have all the tracks split up.
Great, because
I just listen to it on repeat, yeah, and it goes through all the tracks. Yeah.
if you can split the tracks up and send her one track at a time, I think you can do that through Google probably.
Oh yeah, because it would be small enough. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's the way to do it.
Okay. All right.
So let me write your email down here. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, let me pull it up here, Angel. Let's see. Go to my getting closer. Okay, it's as follows. Lowercase E-L-U.
D-L-U?
E as in, let's see, E as in Echo, L as in Lima, U as in under, 259-433 at Gmail.
Oh.
So again, yeah, E-L-U, all lowercase, followed by 259-433 at Gmail.
Okay. And mine, just so you know, it's coming from me. It's ALOP1983@gmail.com.
Okay. Okay.
And it has my name on it, so I'm not, you know, you'll recognize my name anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
I'll give you an example of, Kevin was asking me, if Kevin's still there, yeah, he is, how far we've gotten in a year. Well, a year ago, no one would give out their email address over a call or their phone number. And now people just want these perps. They're giving out their email addresses, phone numbers. They don't give a damn. They just want to get these perps. And if that'll help, that's what they do. But that's one of the advances. People are coming out in the open. They're starting to fight, and they're starting to get angry. And that's what we need.
Hey, Frank.
Hi.
Hi, it's Sandy. I just called in. I'm sorry I'm late, but I wasn't sure you were even having a call because, you know, you usually send out a text, and I was like, okay, didn't get a text, so I'm not sure.
You know what it is? I've had no water in the house because we have a broken pipe. And there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and the conference left me pretty brained out. Not from the conference, from driving. I had to drive all over Creation and back, you know. But I'm fine now.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that because burst pipes are never any
No,
never any good news, but I heard the conference was a big success and
it was.
everybody was good and tired after. So, okay, good. I was just wondering, so I'm good. I'm just listening.
A lot of great speakers were there. David Voits were there. Mr. Lighthouse was there. We had a ton of people. Kate Ryan was there.
Yep.
Pete was there.
I was there.
Yep.
Memoir, I was there. Barbara Gillette, I was there. Everybody forgets me. Everybody forgets everything that I've ever done. Nobody ever gives me credit on these calls for anything.
I
Well,
do.
can I jump in Memoir and say that
What?
I heard someone say that you had, I don't know, picked up someone or maybe more than one person. I'm not sure, but I heard that on a call. So, you know, I would just like to add that in case you didn't hear it. Someone did say that.
Did I picked up someone?
I think that you picked up someone or you gave a ride to someone to the conference or something like that.
No, I paid to have Frank's audio spotlight sent to him. Me and Allison.
Okay, see, I got it wrong. I'm sorry.
Mike had it, and it had to be, we wanted it to get to the conference in time, but unfortunately it didn't. And me and Allison paid to have that shipped down to Frank, and Frank never thanked me. You're
Yes,
welcome,
I did.
Frank.
I
No,
certainly
you didn't.
did.
When?
I thanked you both. And,
I didn't hear it.
okay, well, I thank you now then.
You guys may have been rushing around so much to get everything done that, you know.
Yeah, I did actually 400 miles in 2 days.
I don't care. I don't care. It has nothing to do with the conference.
Oh, okay, Barb.
You were out babysitting some lady who was committing suicide.
Yeah, and
Am
that
I
worked
right?
out very well. I didn't babysit. I was on the phone, Barb.
Well,
Whole night before. 3.5
well,
hours.
I don't care.
You don't? Oh.
Should have been at the conference.
Hey,
I'm chewing your ass out.
you know how many hours I spend?
I don't care.
You don't care. All right, all right.
No excuses.
Is there a TI fund right now? I hate to be in this position, but is there any TI fund that I could pay back so I could get some of the glasses so that I'm not going to have wet and dry macular degeneration like in 2 years?
Are you on Facebook at all?
Yeah, I am. I just decided to deactivate because I didn't know what to do to get this to stop, but I could activate again.
Don't deactivate that. Isolate yourself further. Reactivate yourself and join Targeted Massachusetts. That's where all the countermeasures and whatnot are posted, and everybody here posts there. I think it's on Facebook, and we get a lot of interesting posts in there.
Yeah.
Usually news before you see it on TV sometimes.
Yeah, I like the site. I just can't read it very well, so
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Just about every page I go to, I get it coming back at me.
Well, the glasses are on there, and I'll repost them. And I'll repost them every day until everyone has them, or at least has the numbers. I should have had the numbers with me tonight, but I did not. I got a whole list of things I have to send out.
Okay, thanks.
And I lost a bunch of notes. I've been using OneNote, and OneNote decided to update, and OneNote updated and trashed out all my notes. So I'm a little bit aggravated at that, at myself really, for not backing it up. But well, try it again. I'm gonna look through every file and see if I can find them. They might have gotten tucked into one of the folders somewhere by accident. I'll find them.
Okay. Does Derek Robinson still have the TI fund?
Oh, don't give him any money.
Well, his TI fund runs his website and has whatever he does. It's none of my business. I really don't know. I do not have such a fund, so I don't really know how they work.
Yeah, I don't want to do it, but it's getting so rough that when you.
If you sent him $25, well, there's $20 for a T-shirt for somebody. If you can look at it that way, because he does, like, he has sponsored the second day of the dorm at Unity and Hope. So, I mean, he contributes.
How much did that cost him?
I think he spent like over $300 for that. So he contributes. He's a team member. So don't write him off, please, because he's cutting everybody a check tomorrow for 10 grand. No, I'm only kidding. I'm just trying to say he's all right. He's not.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just that it was in his hands for 10 years, and it wasn't going.
Yeah, I know. Well,
And I've heard that there are so many perks that get on there, especially they get on the. I can't think of the word. Let me rub my head or something,
Well, there's a lot of, like Barb said, sometimes the calls used to be. We have a lot of people that are knowledgeable on this call, and that's what I like. We seem to get a lot of knowledgeable people, and
now it's just what we need. I don't think
the ones that come in and start talking BS don't stay too long because they seem to get ousted by everyone, and that's actually the way it should be. We shouldn't have anyone spreading disinformation, and that's the biggest thing that hurts this organization. Go ahead, Angel.
Yeah, I sent that first track to the woman that wanted it, that was interested in Dave's CD. I just want to know if she received it. I don't know her name.
I would give it, but then, generally I give it, but I'm just trying to be careful because I don't know,
Give a fake name.
Triggering.
Give a fake name.
Fake name?
Yeah, use a stage name, we'll call it, or handle.
A handle.
Yeah. Plenty of people on here have handles.
Yeah.
You don't think there's actually somebody named Deer in the Headlights, do you?
Well, did you get it yet or no?
Let me check. I'm going to have to hold on.
Hey, Angel?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I can't be faster.
I think you have to transfer the CD. When you transfer the CD to either an audio recorder or a cell phone, I think I don't. There's something. I guess it has to be at a certain frequency or something. Dave said.
Oh, I did. I did get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Angel. I did get it. Yeah.
All right, so I'll send the other tracks shortly after. you're saying about the frequencies and converting it
Yeah.
over?
Yeah, converting it over. I remember him saying that there's some, like you have to have it at a certain, you have to do it from a certain stereo or something. Like it has to, does this make any sense, Frank? It's something about how you transfer it, but it's got to be at a certain hertz. Or maybe I'm totally wrong, and it's just that you have to have the headphones be at a certain hertz. Like the headphones have to go up to 20,000 hertz because there's sounds on that recording that you don't hear, but they are there, and they will come through your headphones if the headphones go up to 20 or 25 hertz. And that's why he mentions the COS headphones. That's the only reason. You can find another headphone that goes up to that hertz. But the stuff that you can't hear still transfers into the skin and affects
I know. Yeah.
the frequencies that are even higher. But
Yeah.
I thought he said something about the transfer. I'll check into it, and then I'll let you know, Angel, if I hear you on the line.
Okay.
Well, thanks, guys.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, a lot of people have said those work for them.
Yeah, it works for me. I mean, I had a few CD players that broke down, and I know the MP3 is better, but yeah, I've got to have something portable, you know. Yeah.
Sean also had this. It's like a really thick tinfoil, but it's not tinfoil, it's metal. And then it has rubber in between. It has 2 layers, and in between is this rubber material. He sent me link to it, and I just went into the website, but I didn't go any farther than that. I just saved it. It's in Canada, and I didn't explore the prices or anything. As far as I went, I just went to the website, and that was it. So I'm
online. Can you tell me? I'm online now. Can you tell me what it is?
You want the link? Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah. Thanks.
Let me
I
get.
thought it was Mu metal he had, MU metal, which is expensive, but it works quite well.
I have no idea. Like I
But
said,
I like the idea of the rubber between. I didn't know about that part. I missed it when he puts the rubber in between.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe it's the link.
3 layers there. Hang on. All right. Now. All right. I have 2. Let me see. Okay, that's important. Try this one. There's 2 I have here, and I didn't label this one, unfortunately, because sometimes I'm stupid. But wait a minute. But this
I should label mine, and I don't. But I don't think I'm stupid.
So we got HTTP with the 2 dots, which I don't know the name of, 2 /, a small a dot, CO. Those are both small. / 5, capital H, capital R, capital H, capital V, capital M, small b. Try that. See what you come up with.
Oh my God. I was just waiting for like the name to come up, so I didn't do it.
Oh. You want I should give it.
Isn't there the name
Wait
of
a
the
minute.
company?
Well, let me go to this link and. Yes.
This is good stuff, you guys. Sean Andrews, he really had some good shielding recommendations. So if Memoir can give this out to us, it could be very beneficial to us.
This is on Amazon. It's called Electronics Gift Guide, and it says Safe Living Technologies RF shielding foil, 4 feet by 125 feet, available from these sellers, and then it gives a whole bunch of sellers, and new one from $161 and free shipping.
Mu metal. So I think he put Linkstat in between the mu metal because that mu metal is dynamite.
Wait a
It's
minute. This
so
is
nice.
mu metal. Is that what it says? Aluminum RF shielding foil.
Oh, I thought you said mu.
No.
Mu.
Was there a website for that?
What?
Was there a website for that?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
It is. I'm going to say this one more time, so listen up.
Got
I'm
it.
going to put my phone down. Okay, ready.
HTTP. What are the two dots called?
Colon.
Colon.
Colon. Okay, double colon, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
//
Yeah.
small a dot
Small a.
small co
C is in cat.
C is in cat, O is in out, / 5. Capital H is in home, R is in red, capital R. Capital H is in home, capital V is in Victor, capital M is in memoir, and a small b.
Wow. Oh. Oh.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah, I think I'm in love. I'm in love with the.
Well,
I'm in
thank
love
you.
with the steel. Well, no, I right after I said that, I said, "Oh, that doesn't sound right." I mean, I'm in love with the mu metal, and I'm in love with the shielding foil. It's so
125 foot rolls, 4 foot wide. You know what he said? He said he took these, we were talking, and he said he wrapped them around his legs too. And now it says new one from 161 plus free shipping. I don't know if that is for the roll or not. I wonder what that means. So
I would assume.
well, let's find out. $161, free shipping.
Okay, so now I'm in love with the company. It's Safe Living Technologies.
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't that sound good? Safe Living Technologies. I already feel better just saying it twice.
Space Living Technologies.
Yeah, Incorporated. 92% rating. This is fantastic. Thank you, Memoir, for bearing with me, and whoever else got it too.
This is from Canada.
I've got to start marking my bookmarks. I'm so lazy. I just add the bookmark and then I don't do anything.
Yeah,
And
I gotta go
find any.
put next to the link I got here so I know what I'm doing. Because I'm gonna buy some of this too. He says it works really good. And he also buys this copper material. And he
I did find that on Alibaba. On Alibaba, how you say it?
Yeah, Alibaba.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it there, and that looked really good. I never got it because they stopped attacking me. But
was it the
looked really
same
good.
material he had?
Yes. He made one for Ella. I remember him making one for Ella that you can wrap her whole body in, and I said, "Oh my God, I got to get that." And then I found it, and I never bought it.
What did I miss?
Yeah, it worked for Ella.
Okay, well, he took a piece of this material.
Who?
And it made it, Sean.
Yeah.
And he cut it down, he made it so it went down the front of him, went down the back of him, and he just cut a slit in it for his head. He tried it on at the conference. That's where I got this material from. And he wraps his legs in this RF shielding. And I didn't ask him where else he put it, but I'm assuming he put it on his lower torso also.
Why? The head is what you got to protect. That's what's getting hit.
Well,
You don't
that's what,
realize that. The head is what they're after, and that's
But some people,
they're using all the nerves. They're accessing your nerves in your brain, and that's how this stuff is going on.
Frank, we've discussed this before. I think that that's true to an extent, but I don't think that it's true 100% because I have been pulsed in different parts of my body, and
yeah,
So
it has
a lot.
nothing to do with my head.
Yeah, it's called cell cascading, and it's done in your brain by them.
Not all of it. Not
Okay,
all
but
of it.
okay, no problem. I'm not going to say another word.
Okay, good.
You're the expert on it, so we can't.
Well, evidently, Sean agrees with me because why would he put this on his legs and make a bib
Does it work?
when evidently it does because he does it all the time.
Okay. Well, I'd like to hear from Sean because I haven't. He's never been on a call. He's never spoken with me.
He was at the conference.
Yeah, he was
He did a presentation. He took pieces of this and he sent it around. I took a little piece of it for myself just to check it out and see what it was like. And I think it might work. And then I went up and I talked to him later and he showed me the bib that he wore. And he also, I asked him about the shielding and he said he takes it and he wraps it around his legs.
Great.
So obviously he's hit also in body parts where I'm being hit because they like to attack my knees and my calves and my feet. And
Okay. To attack you, they follow a carrier frequency to you. Then they use low frequency, very low, in the low hertz range on your brain. That's what's in the patents. So you can do as you like, but if you protect your head,
Frank,
yes.
this may be, I'm sure that they do that too, but it's not 100%. I would say most of my targeting that I've had has been the type of targeting I'm speaking of.
Okay.
So,
if you can actually see your skin ripple,
That's called
Right,
surface
right.
tension. It's taken from hypnosis. It's taken from MK Ultra, which is taken from hypnosis. It's called skin tension. Ask any hypnotist. Look up hypnotism. Look up skin tension. You'll see it. Okay? This is all rooted in hypnosis. They've taken all the commands from hypnosis. Remote neural monitoring is all taken from hypnosis.
right, but they're able to get through the CD to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to see, why do I stress blocking off your eyes because they can see through them and blocking off your ears because they can hear through them? Then they don't have any input anymore. If they don't have any input, so if they see through your eyes, what are they accessing there? Your brain. If they hear through your ears, what are they accessing? Your brain. Okay?
Right.
If you have a pain in your leg, what are they accessing? They're crossing what I will call, to simplify, they're crossing a couple nerves or a couple wires in your brain. So to try and steal thoughts and try and work on your brain, what are they doing? They're working on your brain. So you should be working to cover your head, which is the epicenter for everything.
I know.
I can't stress it
You
enough.
should be arguing with Sean about this because he disagrees with you too, I'm sure. Because otherwise he wouldn't be doing this.
I'd like to
He
have
said
him on the
nothing about
call. love to have him on the call.
Maybe he protects maybe he does everything. Maybe he protects maybe he said he puts it on his head, doesn't he?
Maybe I've done all those things already. And it's not a maybe, it's I have done all those things. Right down to getting into one of those Mylar sleeping bags and covering my head.
Mylar doesn't do shit. Mylar never did shit.
Okay.
Mylar never worked for anything
So
that I got hit. They went
what's the
right through it.
material that you have?
I don't use anything. I don't shield at all.
What's the material that Sean was using?
I don't know what it was. Well, I showed it. I
Mew
gave you
metal.
the website, and it was aluminum. Oh shoot! You want the
Very thick.
website?
It was very thick aluminum.
Right.
Almost stiff like.
Is he selling it?
Really?
You can like shape it.
Is he selling it?
Frank,
I'm just,
I
I
have
asked
the
a question.
website.
No.
I have the website. I'll let you go. Let me give you the link.
Put it in the chat room, okay?
I will. I gotta find
Thank you, because I want to spread it around.
I want to
If
find
it's something that works and he's documenting it to work, I'm going to spread it around.
Why can't I find this? Yeah, he says it works.
He mentioned where he got it, and he said it was a store in Canada.
Okay.
Right, and this is from Canada.
All right, this is what happens, okay? Everybody says, okay, well, this works for me. Guess what? If it doesn't work for everybody else, there's something wrong there, because this whole system that is used is very much the same. So if something is working for party A, it should work for party A through Z as well. Because
I don't know about that.
Well, most of the time, maybe sometimes the targeting is different. They switch up and around, and
I know a lot of times people have said, well, that worked for me, and this worked for me, and this worked for me. And I've tried it, and they've gone right through everything. And I've tried a lot of things over the years, and they've gone through everything. You know, I had a piece of copper. It was 1/4 inch thick. I put it behind my seat in my van. They went right through it. They hit me right through it. And you know what they left on the copper? It was 12 inches long by 5 inches wide, and it turned the copper completely blue. Tell me what that was. And this was handheld, done from the. I had my van parked because I'd gone into a hardware store, and when I come back and get in my van, they did it to me then. So it was handheld, and it was boots on the ground. Tell me what that was, Frank.
Laser.
I'm sure.
I think that was probably Jim Kirk.
Jim Kirk? Oh, don't get smart, asshole. Anyway, here's the link.
You got to add a little humor, I tell you.
Yeah.
Here's the link.
Could have been Spock too, you know. Was it on stun?
I just put the link in the chat.
Thank you so much, Barb. And since what his last name, Andrews, is it? Sean.
Yeah, Sean Andrews.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to post this and say Sean Andrews says this works, and I'll spread it.
I spoke to Sean. He said it doesn't work 100%, but it does alleviate and make it a lot more bearable, especially when he's at work and gets hit pretty hard.
Does he have V2K?
No, I don't think so. He was talking about the shielding, especially when he put it on his legs, you know.
Yeah, they must
so he said it doesn't eliminate it entirely, but it makes it a lot more bearable. So that's why he does it, because it helps.
Yeah, you know, I bet you if you put this in a lot of layers.
Barb, do you have V2K? I think you had it, right?
I have had it, but only to ask me questions, interrogate me, ask me certain circumstances that had happened in my life. And they used to wake me up in the morning gently calling my name instead of bashing me over the head like they do now.
That's different.
That's a good synopsis.
I
guess they weren't satisfied with what they were getting.
I found the email for the shielding fabric if you want it.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
Oh, I'm not in there.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I only
Sorry,
post
kids.
things that work. Sean says this works.
Yeah.
I'm going to post it.
Yeah, he says it helps.
Well,
It
I
helps
could
a
get
lot.
in there. I could get in the chat room, right, Frank?
Sure. If you're on a computer,
What is it called? Go meeting?
go to meeting. If you're going to come in by computer, it's global.gotomeeting.com.
Okay.
And when you see the console, you'll see a bunch of little lines next to the chat. Just click on those little lines and you can draw the chat room out of the console. And you can draw the attendee list out of the console. And there's also pens and pencils and everything that we'll start using pretty soon. Because we can share a screen and, you know, I can actually write on the screen, or anybody else can, circle things that, or highlight things that they want you actually to look at.
I have a question
You know,
for
I
you,
know.
Frank.
Hey, Lloyd. Lloyd just came in on video.
Hey, Lloyd. Listen, Frank,
yeah.
did you kiss and make up with Kate Ryan?
Yeah, Kate Ryan and I sat down and talked, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, no, it is good. It's very good. And what I want to do from now on is, I think I mentioned it before you got into the conversation Wednesday, but I said that I don't want to hear anything more disparaging about any other TI, whether he's a moderator, a whistleblower, or an activist. I don't want to hear any words about them. It just causes problems in general for everybody.
Why? You don't want me to tell you I think Kate Ryan and Pete Rosenholm are assholes?
No, you can't.
I won't say that anymore.
I don't want to. I don't want to hear it because what I'm looking at is the bigger picture. I'm looking at Kate and Pete as allies against the perps. That's the way I look at them, and also as friends. And I
Well,
don't.
that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, and that's the way we all should be, shoulder to shoulder against this thing. I mean,
I have a question about that, because what if you know something that you think is really horrific?
horrific?
Horrific.
Okay, well, you don't splash it on a call because the calls are for the TIs. That's all the calls are for, the TIs. And you're one yourself. So the time you take up spreading this horrific thing, is time.
Because these calls have history, a long history.
Yes,
and
they
they
do.
go back. Right. So I don't trust people sometimes from this history. I'm very, very cautious
Yeah.
whom I trust on these calls. And that's why I'm saying that, you know.
Right.
So don't expect me to kiss and make up and be friends.
That's ultimately everyone's decision because everyone's an individual. We're all in this fight together, but shoulder to shoulder against this terrible, horrific, torturous thing that we go through on a daily basis. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
Okay, that's fine with me, but just don't expect me to kissy face and make up, because I don't forget when somebody shits on me or shits on somebody else really, really bad. I don't forget that. And even though I'm a TI, I have a right to remember that, to protect myself.
Yes, you do. You have all the rights that humanity and the Constitution gives you.
That's why I don't go to any of the mass targeting meetings.
Right.
I just can't handle being in the same room, because one of these days I'll probably lose it if they piss me off.
Well,
So
you have
that's
to
how I
remember
feel about
that
it.
there's another element at work in this.
What?
The perp community is hell
Yes.
bent on splitting up every organization that we have.
You know something, Frank? I get more work done doing it by myself than working with anybody else on these calls because people usually, one, screw up, undermine me, malign me, or don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, for instance, when I went to that, I used to do stuff like this all the time when I went to the Cambridge City Council and talked about surveillance to the mayor and the city council, and the police department was there. I get more work done doing stuff like that on my own than I do working with other TIs because they usually fuck up or they undermine me or they make me out to be a fool. I tried to get a group together.
I think we're all
No, wait a
under.
minute. Let me finish. I tried to get a group together. This was years ago with Alda, and Alda with Bill Binney. I was the first one to approach Bill Binney, email him, and talk to him as a target. As a matter of fact, I'm the one who gave his email to Kate Ryan when she asked me for it.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think I've gone above and beyond the call of duty because Alda was the one who turned around and blew up at Bill Binney when I was trying to get his support. And she did it to me several other times. This is why my group fell apart, because of her. She was going to be my technology TI, and she screwed up so bad, and she
Well,
undermined me.
why don't you join Sunday at 10 o'clock? We're going to have a call
Because
all
it gets
day.
me nowhere. It gets me nowhere.
We're going to
It
be
gets me nowhere.
Okay, fine. Okay, I think it'll get us places. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's going to get me places because I'll tell you why. I'm going to learn everyone more closely. I'm going to get to know everybody more closely than I do now. And we're going to research. Everybody can pick a topic. And it's like we're in a big conference room, only we're in front of computers and phones. So, it should be a pretty good thing. We can call it a tech call. We can call it a research call. But the line's open all day long. So that's the important thing. You can get on and make notes in the chat room of things that you found. Everything you say is recorded. You can say, even if, like, I'm grabbing a book or something, you can just say what you found, and it's recorded. And I'll just go over the transcript. And
Yeah, see that we had tech calls before. As a matter of fact, the second tech call we had, I was thrilled to be on it. It was Wednesday night. And you know who kicked me off that call?
Who?
Kate Ryan.
Okay, like I
And
said,
then
I don't want to hear it.
she had other people kicked off calls just like you. So you should be conscious of that.
Okay, what I'm conscious of right now is I don't want to wash any laundry on the calls. No one else does it. It's not going to get done here either. This is to talk about TI work, things that we have to do, events coming up. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're going to stick to. And he said, she said, he said, she said, doesn't do us any good. Things are the way they are, and we're doing very well, and we'll do much better if we all stick together. That's my opinion. So? Yes, I think so.
I started going to different places and doing my own shtick in 1996, and I got a lot done then. And then the perps made me homeless. This was after 9/11. And then I stopped because I was homeless.
Yeah.
And on the road most of the time, But now I think it's time to, like I said, Cambridge was my announcement that I want to get back into the work that I was doing, and I find that I can do. I was very surprised because I sent around an invitation to all the Massachusetts TIs through Kate Ryan. She, at least I think she sent it to all of them. And I
Sure she
also
did.
sent it to a lot. Nobody showed up. Not one other TI showed up.
Well, you
So
get a lot of
what
that.
does
You-
what does that? Well, so what? What does that tell you? What
Okay,
does it tell you?
I'll tell you a lot of things. Kate Ryan has sat waiting for people to show up many times, and no one did. And I got a call that says, "Don't bother coming. There's nobody here." Quite a few times. So, you know, it's just one of those things. A meeting is something that's got to be planned in advance, or the date has to be known. It's just like these calls. Everybody knows Wednesday and Friday night they're going to have a call with Frank and everyone. And, I look forward to it. I can't wait, to hear how everybody's doing, what news they have and stuff. But it's a regular time. Everybody gets used to the time. So if you're going to plan an event, make sure that you give people enough advance notice so they can at least try and fit it into their schedule if they can. If
I only
not,
had short notice on that myself.
yeah, that's the problem. See, this time of the year,
I had a week, I think,
yeah,
if not less.
yeah, that's probably not enough time. Usually figure a couple weeks in advance because a lot of people have children in school. A lot of people have doctor's appointments they have to go to. The usual things that happen in life in general, and that can't stop. If we can get there, we'll try.
Yeah.
If I tell you I'm going to be there, I will be there. I will tell you that. If I RSVP
Frank,
you that says I'm going to be there, I will be
I
there.
heard some bad things about you not showing up.
You did.
Yeah, from several people
That's fine.
that you did not show up. I don't know if this is true or not.
Was that the
But
Washington D.C. because Frank had some problems, I mean, he had some. Right, Frank? I mean, there was the
Um,
audience spotlight and
okay,
the
where
park.
didn't I make it to?
I don't know. They just said that you didn't show up a couple of times and they were upset about it. So
Well,
that's why they didn't expect you at the conference. Why they weren't surprised when you didn't show up till when? Sunday?
I was in like I said, okay, this is really bugging me because I was in constant contact with Allison. And I told
I
her, I
know,
said,
through my phone.
okay, well, I had what I call a longing for suicide, not an attempt, okay, someone hysterical. So when I get those calls frequently, they're very draining. They take a lot out of you, and you spend the time because you have to, and because you want to. I want to spend the time.
No, you don't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
do.
don't. Well, then
But
you're
you spend a
wasting your
lot of time. If I can save one life by speaking to them
time.
for 3 hours, never mind. Okay,
He might. You don't know.
I
I
have.
mean,
How do you know it wasn't a setup?
I can tell, Barb.
No, you can't tell. How do you know it wasn't a setup to keep you from going to the conference to do what you should have been doing?
Okay, what I've asked you to do, Barb, you're doing. You're washing dirty laundry,
yeah.
including mine, on the air. I don't
He's
want to do that. anymore.
These are events that happen that should be discussed.
I would like to discuss events towards the future. That's what I would like to discuss. I'd like to discuss Sunday. Okay, Sunday is a couple days away. Everyone on this call knows about it from Wednesday night. And that's what I'd like to look forward to is Sunday, the future, getting this movement on an
Yeah.
heel and keep it moving. That's what I do. If
So
I
Will you be able to,
So we're not
will you be able to
suffering
come
so
on
much.
Sunday, Barbara?
I'm sorry,
I
what?
mean, I'm sorry, Memoir. Would you be able to come on Sunday to talk?
Why? Nobody wants to hear me.
Well,
I hear you. I like that you're frank. No pun intended.
That is funny.
I mean, we can both go at it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think you all, the thing is you're 25 years in. I always want to listen to TIs who have been through hell and back for 25 years because I can learn.
Well,
I think your call is great.
I told many
Thank you.
Hi,
TIs,
Brenda.
take your money and go out at the dark of the moon during the daytime, pick a spot, walk to it casually, like you're not even looking around, walk to a spot, and then that night, pace it off in your mind. How far you're going to go to this bush, to this tree, to this rock. Pace it off casually, pretend like you're doing nothing. And then turn around and that night, by the light of the moon, go out and bury all your valuables. Because the perps will do everything that they can to manipulate you, steal from you, to get whatever you own. And I've been telling perps TIs how to do this for a long time.
Okay.
And what happened to me was I walked into a national forest. Now, they knew I had a gun on me. I used to carry a 3-inch 45. Walked into the forest. They did not come in after me, but I paced it off during the day, and then I went back that night by the light of the moon, and I walked in, and the perps knew that they should not come in because I would have shot them, and they knew it. And I buried my valuables in there.
Okay.
So that's how I did it.
That's great. Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to add to this, or do they have a story about their own targeting, like where it's coming from, where they think it's coming from? Any countermeasures that you have that you've discovered?
Susan,
Hey,
what do you
Frank, I got a question.
Go ahead.
When I'm recording on Audacity, I can only get like one part of it. Like say if there's like two different conversations going on, like it's on like two different channels.
Right.
I can only get one channel. But if I play it on a regular recording, I get the other channel. It's like I'm hearing two different things.
It sounds like you're not using the stereo matrix. Does your headphone jack have 3 individual spaces on it? It should. The stereo headphone jack.
I get 2.
2. Okay, that's a mono. Get a stereo jack and you'll be fine. It has 3.
Frank and anyone, if you can't,
Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, if you can't do anything, if I couldn't get the Amazon, if I couldn't get the glasses for a few days, is there anything I can do in the interim?
Wear the darkest glasses you can.
Yeah.
With the most
I had-
curve. Flat glasses aren't good. If they have a curve, it's a lot better for you because things will be at an angle.
Yeah.
I've got a suggestion for you.
Mm-hmm.
Get a face cloth, put it under water, put it in your freezer for a few minutes, and put that over your eyes and see if That'll help.
A face cloth, did you say?
Yeah, take a face
Yeah.
cloth. Well, I'm sure you don't have the, like I have the gel packs that go over your eyes.
Well, I had that, and I don't know what happened to it. I think it just, one night I woke up and it had like, come apart. But I do have the ice pack thing to put over
Try
my
it
head.
on your eyes for a little while to see if you can take down the swelling and protect it. A lot of times I found that they can go through ice, but what it does is it cools the pulse where it doesn't burn that much, and it will cool in and keep the swelling down.
Yeah,
And that's a big plus.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, everything, it's like everything I look at practically now, it's being read back to me, believe it or not. That's something.
Can I interject something? Okay.
Yeah.
I just
And
want
this is the last 3 days.
Okay, I just want to interject something. Like Brian too has come on this call and several calls and in several emails, and he states, as a few others have, that the microwaves go inside your head and overheat your brain and expand your brain. That's bull. Want me to tell you why? Because Matt Aaron will tell you that. Because if you expand the brain like that and put that much pressure on it, you'd be in the hospital in lickety split. Okay, the brain cannot expand. Whenever it does, they have to vent off blood or fluid or whatever's in there. I know that much. So if you microwaved your brain and it was actually getting hot, you'd be a retard by the time they got through. I'm sorry for using that word.
Yeah.
So that's bull, okay? The signals that are coming at you are millimeter signals, and they're not gonna. I mean, this whole building would be on fire if what you say is true, because when it focuses on a certain point, it's
But
like
I'm saying, like, when I go to read,
yeah,
as of the last 3 days, I mean, if I can go over to a big tall stack of books, and it's like I look at it, or I can look at an object, and that object is like it's something like I read in what they're doing for war research, where they're trying to see what someone who is a soldier or no is a target and recognize or something. They're trying to program that stuff, but it's terrible, and
try the ice.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, yeah, and I had 2 pair of microwave glasses, and the thing is, they're lost.
yeah, okay. What you want to do is, like I say, those glasses that I have been speaking of are rated at 14. And the hottest thing you can find at a welding shop is 8, I believe, or 9. So you can look at a solar eclipse with these glasses. So in normal light, they're going to block out just about everything. In fact, they will. They'll block out everything.
Yeah, that's a relief. But yeah, I don't want to, who wants to get macular degeneration? I'm already developing cataracts, and who wants to get, wet and dry MACD,
If you're in that situation, learn your house very well and play blind for a couple days.
Yeah.
Really,
yeah.
if you're in your house and you're by yourself, go ahead, try it, because it's going to piss these people off. You have no idea. I'm sorry for using that language, but they're going to become so angry, they're going to flip, because they use whatever they can, tactile, your vision, your ears, but your eyes are what they use the most.
I've heard, yeah. Thanks, Frank.
No problem.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions, comments, answers?
Well, I was just telling her to use that ice until she got her glasses.
Yeah, you have to watch out for ice packs. You have to make sure they're wrapped in towels because I don't know if you've read the latest medical journal on it, but if you put ice on the skin, it actually freezes the first couple layers of skin into ice crystal, and it causes a lot of problems with your skin. So you can read that, ice packs or ice on the skin. You can Google it. You'll find that information.
Oh yeah, not directly. You
Yeah.
gotta wrap it up. I
Yeah.
wrap it up mine up. Yep. I already knew that, but thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't, that are putting straight ice on there. So it just causes problems. That's all.
You know what I put on is I got one of those did you ever see these towels that they sell? Like I got mine at Home Depot, and you can put the towel itself in the freezer.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Well, I didn't wet it, and I didn't put it in the freezer. I just wrapped my gel pack up in it and used that, and that worked. That gave me enough of a barrier. I forgot to mention it, but it was a barrier.
Is the woman with the itch cream? Is the woman with the itch cream on tonight? Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you things that you don't do. Now, this is disinformation that I picked up from Derek's call. Now, I wouldn't have allowed it to continue. I would have said, okay, that's not necessarily the opinion of myself or, such and such. But she said to stop her V2K, she puts itching cream on somebody's ear or something, and that's going to help. Well, guess what? It's not going to help. It's just taking time, other people's time, and it's BS. And if something works for you like that, I tend to question whether you have V2K or not, because itching cream is not going to stop V2K. I've tried everything for over 6 years now, and guess what? I've tried going everywhere. Sellers. The only thing I haven't tried is Cave, and that's not going to work either because they say that on a submarine. They say that you do. Well, maybe if they go deeper than 30 fathoms, you won't get it. But what you are getting is radio signals.
I think you carry it with you.
Thank you, Barb. Yep, that's what I think. Because guess what? Everybody goes into a Faraday cage. Their phone doesn't work. Their radios don't work. Nothing works in there. Okay. Nothing at all. But what's in there with you? V2K.
What about snow?
Snow's very porous, but it might break up the signal. But
Yeah, somebody said snow can be sort of an insulator from. I guess that's because water. Some people say that water helps prevent.
Yeah, it does.
These packs,
I think
right?
it does. Yeah. I've heard that a lot. Well, snow goes back to the igloo principle. They build a fire inside. It makes an ice shield, and that's what holds the igloo together. And because it's thick, that's insulation. That it'll never get any colder than 32 in an igloo, no matter how.
Well, could I move up to? Are they in Alaska or Canada?
I haven't talked to them yet today. They haven't got their phones in yet.
What are you talking about?
The igloo people?
No, the
Is
snow.
there a joke?
Yeah, that's. Yeah, you can tell when Marcus comes on because Marcus comes. The first thing he does is lay a joke on us. So.
I'm just glad Marcus didn't ask, like, what is. Oh no, that's another guy that says, "Hi, Marcus." I don't mean. How are you doing? There's another guy that always asks,
Pretty good.
When is this gonna end?
You know,
like when is this gonna end?
I think we're going to find the answer or the countermeasure this year. That's my feeling. And I have a very strong feeling about that. We're going to find the answer or the countermeasure that will protect everybody. And it's not going to be something hanging around your neck for $1,800 either.
Oh, gee, that was another scam. I'm telling you.
I bought one of those.
It wasn't. I don't think that was his fault, though. I think that was her fault. The woman there, I think she sold him a bill of goods.
I don't care whose fault.
Yeah, he was brought in.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
She sold it to me. She sold it.
Yeah. Did it work?
And well, so I don't really know. I had it for 4 months,
Yeah.
and then I went to visit somebody, and I left it on the toilet when we went out to eat. And he lives in a rural place. And we came back from where we went to eat, and it was gone.
Wow.
Really?
And then for the next 6 days, I felt nauseous, and there was something else I felt. I can't think of it now, but then I was fine. So I really don't know. And then someone said maybe the glasses are better to get, or maybe I was taken twice then.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, but did the time that you wore it, did you feel any different?
Well, I don't really. I don't. It was. You know what? I wasn't being. I was only getting. You know what? Maybe it prevented the V2K from coming back. Maybe that's what it did. I forget.
Well, it's identity, right? You put your photo of your personal photo inside of the stone.
Yeah. I did all that. I don't really know. That's the bottom line. I don't know whether it
See,
worked or not.
you should have been documenting that because that was a test.
Yeah.
That was.
Why didn't I document?
Huh?
Leave her alone,
Why
Barb. She
didn't
feels bad
I?
about losing it. She lost $1,800 probably down the toilet.
Well, if I were going to blow that much
Frank.
money to
Was
stop
it
the targeting,
25?
I would go to
Yes.
Melinda Kidder or Hildy Stanengarter. How do you?
Stan-
Staninger.
Excuse me. Hold on, Marcus. That cost you $2,500?
Frank's in
cow.
shock over that one.
Wow.
Because Frank, I didn't get it when they had it on sale for $1,800.
Oh, you got it before then?
Unless the 1,800 is EU or whatever they call that.
You should have given me that money so I could buy a truck.
They slammed you with the EU.
No, I saw that post you had, Memoir. I thought of you.
I bought an awesome pickup truck for $1,500. 1990.
Let's not get off topic, Marcus.
Wait a minute, Marcus. What?
Okay.
We got it for
Used car
$1,500. A 1990 Jeep Comanche pickup truck with a 4-liter, 350 horsepower. Awesome pickup. I mean, it
Are
was
you
so
selling
fast.
it?
No, the stalker sabotaged it and made it blow a rod.
Oh, God.
How often did you change your oil, Marcus?
Oh, every 3,000 or 4,000 miles.
Okay, just like you should. Okay. I do mine at 3,000. I use Mobil One.
But it only had 100,000 miles. It only had 100,000 miles, and Frank, the Cherokee will go 300,000 miles. And one day I'm driving 25 miles an hour, and it viciously blows a rod. After I emailed 10 churches about gang stalking.
Oh, wow. That must have bummed you right out.
Well, it's the 4th vehicle of mine they destroyed.
Did you have
Yeah,
to walk home?
they did 4 of mine, too.
Would they put steel filings in the oil?
I don't know what objects they put down the oil filler hole on the engine, but they put something in there that could catch and squeeze and cause malfunction
Steel filings.
and then a blown rod. That's happened to me twice. One corroded engine from rust they poured in the coolant system, and another Volkswagen Beetle that only had 10,000 miles on a rebuilt motor suddenly overheated, and the serpentine belt melted, and I sold it for $500, even though it was worth like
Did it
$3,000
go
or
on fire?
$4,000.
Oh, because those belts are good for going on fire. I had a few of them.
Sounds like the alternator either seized up, the water pump seized up, something seized up, and the engine kept going. And
Yeah,
it
Frank,
fried itself.
the guy I sold it to raced dune buggies, and he turned the car into a race car, and he said he had no problems with it, even though I thought it was the engine got warped. He said, no, everything's fine, and put it in another shell and was racing it. And I was kind of pissed off that, it happened that way.
Yeah, that gets you, doesn't it?
Well,
somebody's ringing up something. Sounded like a cash register.
Gonna walk up the store. I'll see you all later.
Okay, Barb. Thank you very much.
I see you on Sunday.
Okay, 10 o'clock a.m.
Okay, thanks, Frank.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, it's 9 o'clock anyway. Oh,
You know what I did, Frank? I put my car in the garage so they wouldn't sabotage it, and then I put a drop of candle wax on the keyhole so I would know if they broke in through the door.
No, wait a minute. What is this drop of wax thing? What you
Yeah,
put it
drop of
inside
wax,
the?
when you push it, when you smudge it against the keyhole, it makes a new shape every time. It makes a new figure. It always makes something weird looking, like a bird. It'll look like a man's face. It'll look like some guy playing golf. I mean, every time you smush a new drop of wax on over the keyhole, it creates a new shape, and they can't reproduce it. I mean, so I would know if they
went
inside, with the key the next day because
What a
of the.
smart little guy you are. Not that you're a little guy, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna use
Tie a
that.
rattlesnake up to your door handle.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
that's
no.
better. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, if you're broke like I was, but now I have 2 motion detector smartphones I bought at Walgreens for $20 pointed at the front door, and they haven't come in for almost a year now.
Now, what have
But
you done?
They used to come in weekly when I was gone and poison our food and damage our brain cells. And since I put up 2 motion detectors pointed at the front door with a smartphone I bought at Walgreens for $20 with the SIM card, they have not come in.
Where did you get the motion detectors?
Walgreens.
You bought 2 motion detectors from Walgreens.
Well, it's a smartphone, and then you just go to Google Play Store and you download the app called Motion Detector, and it's got a pair of binoculars for the icon.
No, wait a minute. Motion detector for what? Run that by me again.
Motion Detector app on Google Play Store, and any smartphone that has a camera, and then just set it up so it's pointing at your front door.
You know what I was thinking of buying? They come in here whenever I leave too. I was thinking of getting some sort of an alarm that went off like with this high-pitched scream and just, shut down after 2 minutes when somebody opened the door. You hear of anything like that?
Well, that's a good idea. I looked into it, and then they found ways around that, like no one's going to hear it or it'll disturb the neighbors. So I just went with the motion detector after the candle wax drop.
And you got that at Walgreens.
I've got a new, very hardcore forming, and the name of it is Strategic Team Against Radio Frequency Strikes. And it is going to be a strategic team. So I guess that's coming up here soon, I guess.
Hey, do you guys think that Jesse Ventura has any chance for running for president? Because I know Donald Trump's not going to get reelected.
He will.
Well, he might by stealing it. It's not by anything he'd do. He stole this one. The same as Bush 1 stole his, and Bush 2
Yep.
stole his. Same way.
Yeah, just think how much better our lives would be if Gore would have won instead of Bush. I mean, I don't know if any of us would be targeted, right?
We'd be all wearing plants.
That's fine. I don't mind wearing plants.
Would have green cars with grass growing on the hood's roof.
That's fine too. I don't mind that.
Daisies growing out of our mirrors.
There you go.
Like walking chia pets.
That's funny.
That's while the cars were sitting in the yard resting. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, they'd be running on solar.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Way more. Way more. Al Gore was green, and Bush is all about fracking oil and making wars to steal oil.
What an asshole he was.
No, he's from an oil family.
Who cares?
His family was out about oil. But anyway, every time Marcus starts, we get off topic.
Yeah, but
it's good talk though. It's towards the end of the call anyway. We're going to get off in about 3 minutes because, unless I'm not mistaken, she's not here. But Linda has a call at 9. And for some,
Frank.
Yes.
In your opinion, what can we do to speed things? What can we do to speed things along? Because I don't want to be doing this in 5 years.
Well, you can go out and you can send flyers, or you can contact your city council and go before them and tell them exactly what you feel. Or you could do a lot of activism things.
You can drive out to Mike Mason's house and speak with him, or speak with him on the phone, and speak with that other gentleman that we found for you there to speak with, and start making a group and tying that area together for us, because there's a big wide gap there that with nobody in it. So
Where is he? Upstate New York?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Work with Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Mason?
Yeah.
Yeah, give him a ride down here.
What's his phone number?
Gee, you'd have to ask Frank for that.
I got it.
don't have it.
Hold on a
I have
second.
it, but I don't have it handy.
Uh,
Get it in a second.
All right. Good
Mike
night, all.
reminds me of like the whistleblowers that, have detected frequencies coming out of our body.
Jesus, I don't know if I should give his phone number over the air. What do you think, Barb?
Why don't you ask?
How about I give you mine? How about I give you guys mine, and then you can text
There you
me.
go.
I already have yours, Kevin, I think. I'll text it to you.
Frank, can I ask you, is there anyone near Albany, New York at all?
Let me just give it again. 716-393-6785. 716-393-6785.
Oh. So that's like Western New York, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you got that, right?
Yep. I already have you anyway. Just trying to
Yeah,
find
I
you.
wasn't able to get it. I'm trying to do the thing where I cover my eyes and stuff. And, so now I got it. figure out where Ken is or something.
Yeah, if you want to text me, okay, my number is 508-857-8334, and
508-857.
8334. 8334. Yep. And then what I can do is I can send
Me.
the young lady down near the bottom there, E. I can send you the information on the glasses, and I can send Kevin the information that he needs, and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
And anyone who's in New York State, like upstate New York, you know, that, you know, I don't know anyone out here who's, I had one person and he moved. Yeah.
Yeah, send me the name of your town too, or your city. I don't want to know your address yet. We're not close enough yet. So just send me the city, and that'll be fine. And I'll see if I can find out who's in your area.
Okay, I think I did that once before, but Frank, you do so much, and thank you. Okay.
All righty.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Okay, it is 9:02. Time to go see Linda.
All right.
I thank you all for coming. God bless. God bless all TIs all over the world. And you folks have a good night.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night, Kevin.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, E.
Thanks.